Aries! Welcome back. Welcome if you're new. My name's Vanessa. And already the energy for you is very beautiful, very strong, but pleasant, as always. Maybe not always, but it's like spring has come early. I've been noticing how insanely fast these lilies have bloomed and opened. I actually literally have to give them more room so that they can fully spread their flowers, their petals out. And I've been out and about today already. It's a beautiful day here, and we're still in Aquarius season. So we're technically, like, astrologically, we're in the dead of winter here. And you wouldn't think that from how beautiful it is outside where I am at. I was near the ocean today. I was in my little downtown area and just feeling a lot of excitement, but in a very peaceful way, and a rebirth. Already this energy, and I'm an Aries, so, and I'm distinguishing even more how I channel and how I work as an intuitive guide and reader. And I'm recognizing that I'm picking up on energy that I should be sharing in my messages hours before I go and sit down at my desk to do these readings, which is really fun and cool. So that's why I'm giving this backstory, because this energy has already been alive within me here. I'm seeing some birds. I'm seeing a crow very, very high up, an airplane right behind it very high up, and a hawk also. And the hawk is doing its, there are two hawks, and they're doing their hockey thing where they like swirl. I also saw a hawk this morning while I was walking into town. So you could really be seeing a whole bigger picture of something. And there's rebirth energy. This also could be indicative of birthday season right around the corner if you are a sun sign Aries. Although this is good for sun, moon, rising. And it can be fine with wherever you have Aries placement in your chart, because we all have Aries in our chart. That being said, most of you are probably watching because you're sun sign Aries. And in that case, we know that our birthday season is like not too far off now, like a month and a half to 2 months away, in the time frame that I'm filming this. 304 on, that could be someone's birthday. There could be Piscean energy here as well. I do have the ocean card that came out, rejuvenating rain. Okay, I have a lot of cards already out on the table. So I'm feeling this like beautiful blossoming energy. I'll show you now. I got a tattoo. That's why I went into town. And it would be the 100th birthday of my grandmother tomorrow, if she were still alive, which there's no sadness around. It's been 14 years since she's passed. So there's this rebirth energy. There's this transformative energy. I feel like a lot of you have gone through a metamorphosis recently, or you are still in metamorphosis. However, you know you're in a safe cocoon and you know what you are transforming into. There is a bigger picture, bird's eye view of your life, where you've been, where you're going. And of course, we don't all know all the details of where we're going. That would be boring. Life wouldn't be very fun if we just knew every single thing that was going to happen for us. So it's okay. There's still fogged in on the table. There's just all of this. So getting excited, getting very excited here. So bear with me as I try to communicate what's already on the table, and then we're going to dip into tarot, and we'll end it off with some other decks as well, or oracle cards. So I have my cute little jar here, which you guys will come to recognize visually. I guess I'll show it a little bit more. But these have these angel cards in here. I do tend to work a lot with angelic energy because it was how I was introduced to oracle readings. And I do at times work with fae. We'll see if fairies want to come into this reading or not. They might, with all the springtime energy that I'm getting. So when I pulled the angel cards, I got birth first. Okay. Then I got delight. I got trust, openness, and light. And I don't normally pull 3, but 5 wanted to come out. So again, the 5 in numerology is significant in change and transformation or change in direction or some sort of change. It leads to a 6, and 6 is harmony. On the table, we have rejuvenating rain. It says, clear the past, heal the present. I feel like a lot of you are going into this beautiful healing metamorphosis or have just come out of that, and you're checking out how beautiful your wings are or how beautiful the petals are on this flower, because you can't rush. It's like in Mulan. I don't know what the line is, but there's something about like, you can't rush when a flower opens without, like if you force a flower to open before it's ready, you can destroy the flower. So there's a trust in your timing here, and you're healing the present. We have, and I'll just show you the card because it's so beautiful. And in contrast to the spring energy that I'm feeling today, even a little summer, it's pretty warm out. It was raining a lot last week here, and we do have more rain coming, right? And the rain is just so cleansing. So we also have fogged in. Go slow, take your time. And then we have surrendering to the journey. And this is the cover of the deck when you get the Sacred Traveler deck. So these 3 cards are from the Sacred Traveler deck, and it says release control. Like when you're in that cocoon and the caterpillar literally turns to mush, like the whole body of the caterpillar like disintegrates into mush and then reforms as a butterfly. So then I pulled from my fat angel deck, my 2 decks in one, and I got beloved one. You are a beloved one here. Archangel Chamuel, I'm helping you with your spiritual soulmate relationship. We got clear your space. Archangel Jophiel. I think it's about decluttering. Yeah, get rid of clutter, clear the energy around you, and use feng shui. Some of you could be opening up more to feng shui. I love feng shui. I think it's really cool, although I don't know that much about it. Let's be real. And then we have the ocean. The deep blue sea speaks to your soul, healing and soothing you. Even the act of imagining yourself dipping into its healing womb brings about desirable effects. Better yet, spend time physically near the ocean. Allow its power and beauty to wash away all cares and concerns. You could also be doing a lot more spiritual baths as of recently, just to help cleanse your energy and to feel better. I love Epsom salt baths. Outdoors. Go outdoors, go outside, get some fresh air, and connect with nature to relieve stress and gain new creative ideas. Again, like this flower energy, the weather outside, the bird messages. There's a dog barking right now as I'm speaking. Spending time outside is amazing for connecting to your spiritual perspective, spiritual messages, spiritual guidance. And it's very cleansing and healing. We have courage, Archangel Ariel. Love the lion in the background. Be courageous and stand up for your beliefs. And then we have indigo and crystal children. All of these cards, Cam was like, it's kind of a lot of cards, but we'll take them. They all came out of my fat deck. Archangel Metatron, you have a bond with children. In particular, you can help children who are sensitive. And then the last pre-cards that I pulled were from the Life Purpose deck that I have. And we got travel. So some of you could literally be transforming as you've been traveling lately. You could currently be traveling, or you are making plans for travel, which is also exciting. There's a lot of excitement energy, but it's not over the top. It's very aligned, illuminated Aries energy is this excitement, this passion. We have writing. Some of you could be writers, or the practice of writing is very, very healing, very informative, and can also connect you very into, there's a lot of spiritual energy as well in this reading. I feel like so many of you are going through another spiritual awakening. If it's not your first, it's another one. That's part of this. And I recognized that all of my tattoos tend to happen in a very there's a lot of spiritual meaning behind them and spiritual drive. It's always spirit that drives me towards my next tattoo. You heal, inspire, teach, and entertain with the words you write. And then we have options. Lots of options. And you could be working on more than one thing, which is a very typical Aries thing to do. We love to start projects. We're not always the best at finishing them. And I think that that's just fine as long as you recognize which ones are truly important that you should finish and to focus on those and to let the other spinning plates spin and maybe fall. You could feel like in the past you had so many spinning plates. You know that visual of like the poles, like this person is like, it's like they're on stage and entertaining people, but it's similar to juggling, but different. Like, because if the plate falls, it could break. And some of you might have realized that although you're good at doing that, you're kind of over it. And what would it look like if you let some of those plates fall and break? And to maybe give yourself permission to allow that to happen. It's kind of a weird message to bring through, but it will resonate with the right people. Don't make these messages fit take what resonates, leave the rest behind for someone else. But that being said, you might have gotten really good at juggling a lot of things to your own detriment in a way where it might have gotten exhausting, or it might have been for others. And initially that felt good. But ultimately it's kind of like, and why am I hearing dance monkey? Her story about that song that she wrote, some of you could be songwriters, is very fascinating, actually. I think I watched that on YouTube. I actually am a big YouTube consumer. I have YouTube Premium. Can't say enough good things about it, honestly. And so I consume most of my info or entertainment or messages through YouTube. And I don't remember the name of the artist who wrote Dance Monkey. It was very, very popular at 2020 when the world shut down. So look into that, or even just see what the lyrics are saying. And it's fascinating. And I think it fits here where you, in the past or currently, are learning how to surrender this, to drop this. Because we have release and surrender twice. This was on the bottom of my massive deck here. We shower you with blessings of our radiant love. Open your arms. Openness. Open your arms and release the challenges that you've held tightly gripped within your hands. Open your hands, arms, and heart to our love and resistance. I think some of you are allowing those plates to drop and break. And then entrepreneurs underneath this. So some of you could really be wanting to be self-employed or go into self-employment. For an Aries speaking to an Aries, self-employment is amazing. it takes time and experimentation to find out the and the like the yes and the I don't really like that part of this, or there's give yourself time. Go slow, take time. How fun. And then the last, well, no, there's still more. The last pre-cards here that came out. Again, we have children. So we have children coming out twice. And this one says your life purpose involves helping, teaching, and healing children. Some of you with the writing could be writing new school teaching plans. That's what that is. And then some of you could be traveling because you are going to be teaching abroad for a bit. I'm talking to a whole bunch of different people here. So put it in the comments. Let me know, But regardless, I just feel like you're about to embark on a brand new adventure, and it can feel a little intimidating or scary, but Aries definitely has a lot of courage and confidence. So just lean into that. And in the meantime, know that you are taken care of. These are the last pre-cards. There are a lot of cards. There's just a lot of pre-info for this reading before we dip into tarot. We have Breaking Trail here, which is also a perfect Aries card. A breakthrough is at hand. And this doesn't happen, but when I went, this was the bottom of that Sacred Traveler deck card when I pulled out the first three, the Rejuvenating Raid, the Fogged In, the Surrender to the Journey, and then I saw this on the bottom, Breaking Trail. I'm like, cool, breakthroughs at hand. I love that. But then when I put the deck down, bottom facing up, bottom up, half the deck slid further back, showing me the phrase on a card. And it said, everything is smooth sailing. And I was like, which card is this? So I looked, and it's in the flow. And then when I put everything back again, it happened again. And it said, savor your life. And so I was like, well, I'm looking at what that is. And it says passion and pleasure. And I said the word passion earlier because that's a big Aries thing. There's excitement and passion happening. But it's like more grounded. It's not chaotic. It's not spontaneous. It's well thought through. And some of you really have been spinning plates for a while. And you know which plates are worth the spinning. So now I'm seeing a pottery wheel. And that you don't have to do things just to entertain others or to make others happy. Because that's just exhausting for someone with strong Aries placement. We are the sign of self. We are known to be in our shadow side, our negative side of the sign can be selfish, self-centered, egotistical, me. And I think that many of you have had those moments reflected back to you, and also know though that the focus on self is not meant to be of detriment to anyone else. Aries is represented by the first house of the zodiac. The first house is all about self, identity, individualization, individualism. And the houses operate like a timeline of life. And so I don't know if I've said it in our videos before. I probably have, but it's worth saying again. Would anyone look at a 1 or 2 year old learning how to like walk and talk and do all these things, that there's a lot of centered around the selfness because they're brand new and they're learning. It's a starting point. It's a brand new life. Birth has happened recently. The life is growing and they're learning how to create their own identity, which usually in those first years happens through family, giving nicknames and, you know, creating like storylines. Oh, this is how you were when you were little, because we don't remember when we were that young. But babies need a lot of attention. They're the only recognition that a little baby has as they're learning is self and seeing the world right in front of their face and learning. And it isn't ever that this 2-year-old is thinking, oh, I need to make sure I get a Christmas present for all of these other people. It's not in the awareness yet. So if you've had those reflections reflected back to you by people, if you've ever been called egotistical, if you've ever been called selfish or self-centered, of course there are times where we can turn a blind eye to others and act that way. And anyone can. But would you ever call a 1-year-old or a 2-year-old selfish or egotistical because they didn't give you a Christmas present for Christmas that year? No. So that's Aries energy in one way of speaking about it. Because we all have we're so complex. Everything's so simple yet so complex. And so I think you've been spending plates. And I think a lot of you have already dropped them. And some of you still need to maybe drop them because so many of you are already in this metamorphosis, this safe cocoon where you're surrendering the past, you're clearing the past, and with that healing the present and moving into this rebirth, this new phase of life that brings so much more delight, trust, openness, and light and courage. And so some of you might actually connect really well with children because it's a natural tendency for Aries to be able to, okay. You get what I'm saying? So some of you really could be working with children right now. For many of you, there are a lot of options on the table. Whew. All right, let's dive into tarot. Regardless, it's a very exciting yes kind of energy. Ooh, flying out already. 5 of Swords. It's in the past. 5 of Swords in the past. I'm not going to take reversals today. I'm kind of liking the not taking reversals right now, although I've taken reversals in the past. I feel like we're not like Uno reversing. We're like only moving forward. So let's see. For the Aries collective, thank you so much. So we have the 6 of Cups in this present moment, which 6 again coming out. So harmony, kindred spirits. You could be super connecting in a spiritual way and connecting with your guides and loved ones. But you also could be really like tuning into these spiritual soulmate relationships coming in. 6 of Cups. Always like a kindred spirit. There's a loving, harmonious connection between 2 people with the 6 of Cups. Okay, and then we have the Knight of Wands coming in the future. We have Strength as your advice. Love that. Right next to the Courage card. So Strength. Knowing how strong you are. Also like taming the beast. You could have an energy around you that's also intimidated by your strength and you're learning how to peacefully... I mean, she's literally closing the lion's mouth. So it's very gentle and loving and feminine energy coming into a very masculine king energy. It's also really natural for Aries to spark up competition. And I definitely have talked about this in the other reading that I put out with Aries tribe just coming in. We often are not, it's not in the awareness for us to compete. It's when we're out doing our thing and we notice other people noticing, and the energy is mirrored back as though it's a competition. And we can get pushed quite easily into going, oh, you're trying to compete with me? Bring it. I'll show you. That is very natural Aries energy, which honestly I love. As long as it's, you know, meant in good spirit of competition. Some of you could be entering a competition right now. There's like a talent show. It could be part of the spinning plates thing. Songwriter, getting on stage. Something about getting on stage. In the environment around you, there's a tower moment. And then we have Queen of Swords energy. It's the outcome. Potential outcome. My hand... There's no way my hand smells like a tattoo parlor, but I smell the tattoo parlor. Some of you could be getting tattoos or just recently got tattoos. And we have the moon. Ooh, there are still things you're not meant to see right now, but you can feel it. And I think a lot of you are tuning into your spiritual connection and guidance for help. And we have the Hierophant as like the overarching theme here. Overarching. There are multiple ways to perceive this energy. There are multiple ways to enunciate it. There are multiple ways to speak your truth. There are multiple ways for you to be connecting with spirit, regardless of if it's overarching or overarching, because they're the same. Tomato, tomato, pajamas, pajamas. It's the same thing. And now Death Cab for Cutie, different name for the same, the same thing. Different name for the same thing. You could be renaming things. You could be coming up with a new name for yourself, new nicknames. It could be a new relationship in your life. Like maybe you just started dating someone and they have a new nickname for you, one that you haven't been given before, and it's very endearing. I don't know, I'm smelling the lilies. They smell so good. We have the King of Cups on the bottom of the deck. There is some romantic energy coming through as well. For some of you, it's just that there's this whole new level of spiritual connectedness coming in for you. And you're aware of it. And a lot of you are surrendering to it and trusting. And it's delightful. It's a bit scary feeling fogged in or having moon energy or tower energy around you. You can feel. Clairsentience could be a strong one for many of you, where you really feel and sense energies around you. And if that is the case, then definitely learning how to work with energy work being something that you could be looking into, whether that's Reiki, Qigong, medical Qigong, just visualization, chakra, healing, working with colors, you know. So you're sensing and perceiving a lot. And it's not the same for every single one of you. But the majority of all of you tuning in are receiving exceptional guidance. You're receiving clarity through a spiritual aspect or way that you've felt or tasted before, you've sensed before, you've known, you've experienced before, and now it's moving into the next phase. So you're no longer doing things for just the benefit of others. You're taking a break from those past forms of self. And it doesn't just feel like a break. You could be telling people that as they're used to you doing certain things. You could be, it's not a lie, but it's a white lie. Where people are like, oh, are you still doing blah, blah, blah? Are you still thinking of doing this or being this or blah, blah, blah? And you're like, oh, I'm just taking a little breather from it, or I'm taking a little break from it. And in your mind, you're like, yeah, but permanently. But I don't need to tell them that. So for some of you, that might resonate. But all of you are stepping into a next level that feels more radiant, more trusting, more beautiful, more powerful, more connected than you've experienced thus far. And that is exciting. But it's peaceful and grounded. So many of you are doing your grounding work. If you're like, ooh, not me, then that's your sign to do more grounding work. It's just some part of the telephone pole. I thought that was a huge hawk sitting up there, but it's not. I love looking outside in the environment around me to also receive messages. So that could be something that you guys are starting to tune more into. The whole angel numbers, the whole like spiritual meanings to certain dreams you're having, the whole, what does this animal totem mean? How fun. Okay, so you don't fully see what's coming before you, and you're okay with that because you also understand it's a part of your mental mind over matter power to begin to visualize and manifest that which you do want. And if we're not careful with the words that we use and speak out into the universe, the visuals that we consume and or create and project out, if we're not careful with these things, it can move into more of that like traditional association with the tower and the moon. Scary. Oh, fuck. Oh, the darkness will consume me. And it's like, nah. You are becoming so much more aware of your light and shining it into the dark places, or allowing the nighttime, which is a natural time for us as human beings to rest. That womb is a dark space. The cocoon that you are in or have just emerged from is a dark space. And it allows for rest and dream work to happen. It's necessary. It's not that it's evil. It's natural. And it's also natural that each one of us has a light that we can shine out, that we can radiate out to the benefit of ourselves plus others. So whatever lights you up, whatever you're passionate about, passion and pleasure, savor your life, being grateful, having gratitude, and learning how to get more in the flow state. Many of you are doing this. Many of you, this is your objective, and for pretty much all of you, that's like, it's both. You're doing this and that's the objective. Samesies. So I want to pull some of the romance angels And I want to pull from the Indigo Angel deck. We'll do Indigo Angels first. And that's mostly because I have this Indigo and Crystal Children card here. And Indigo Children, being an Indigo child is something that I've resonated with for a long time. There's like that whole like generational curse breaker energy with Indigo Children. Being different, picking up on otherworldly energies, being healers, spiritual guides. It's been a long time since I've looked into the meaning of Indigo Children, but that might be something that you want to look into. Let's see. What are these Indigo Children? What is this? Indigo Angel Oracle cards. It's a 44 card deck, but I'm pretty sure that this is the deck of mine that they duplicated one of them. It's a 45 card deck. It took me years to notice that I had a duplicate card in here. Release and relax. Wow. There's a lot of that. Release, release, release. 3 times on the table. Okay, what else? Should I read? What else? Aries, please. Thank you for letting these messages be clear and understandable. Love the Strength card and the Hierophant card coming out. Divine timing. Again, right? Can't force the flower to bloom. Allow love. Perfect. We are moving into romance cards here. And then divine purpose. And see her body language. She seems not thrilled. Like she's going through the breakthrough portion. And that's what this card is saying as well. A breakthrough is at hand. Oh, she's going through the breakdown portion. And a breakdown precedes a breakthrough. So if you are going through a breakdown phase, knowing that it precedes a breakthrough is something that can give you courage and give you hope and optimism moving through this. And also a breakdown happens in that cocoon. The body of the caterpillar breaks down into goo to reform into the butterfly. So don't miss the rainbows around you. Open yourself up and see that you're supported. You are safe on the bottom of the deck. Okay. Really being guided. Ugh, I'm like excited, sweating. I'm like kind of cold. So you're regulating. You're learning how to regulate yourself at this time. Romance cards. We will end it there, I think. Okay, so there's a lot of potential romance energy on the table, Spirit. I'd like to know more about that, please. Thank you so much. A lot of heart-opening energy. Allow love. Spiritual soulmate relationship. 6 of Cups on the table. For some of you, this also just how children can open up your heart. Some of you could be welcoming new children into your life. And or just feeling this heart opening as you clear the past and heal your present. Spend time in nature. Spend time near the ocean. Allow it to heal you. Okay, romance for Aries, please. Romance for Aries, please. Thank you for letting these messages be clear and understandable and the betterment and the highest good for all. Children. Okay. So maybe you could be adopting children or having children, or your children just really light you up. Maybe your children are super intuitive and spiritually connected, and they're helping you to see yourself in a new light. They are the ones reminding you to stop spinning those plates. You know, you should focus on what lights you up. Hey, mom, or hey, dad, I noticed that you love doing this. Like, you're so passionate about it. It brings you so much pleasure and joy and delight. Why don't you do that? Your love life is being affected by children. You could also be dating someone who has children. And maybe you don't have your own children. And maybe you are just learning how wonderful they are. Or I don't know. And then we have new love. You're fogged in right now. The moon card is not, you're not supposed to know all of these things right now, but it's cool to be sensing it. A new person has stirred romantic feelings. What else, Spirit? Let's get some more romance. Okay. Okay. Love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attracted. Trust. How many times is trust on the table? Trust. I mean, this situation is calling for you to have faith. Make the effort. And look, it's 2 little kids. This could also be, yeah, again, that 6 of Cups, this new love interest, whether they have children or not, they make you feel like a child again. Or you feel this kinship, like they bring out all of these innocent, pure, just genuinely like loving and caring and nurturing kind of feels. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. Fogged in, you might only be able to see 1 or 2 steps ahead of you at a time. You guys are all trusting that that's beautiful and a part of this process. And then we have express your love. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. So some of you know who this person is, that it's a brand new loving soulmate relationship, 6 of Cups relationship that has entered your life, and you're like, ooh, and you're like, you've caught feelings. And for some of you, it hasn't happened yet, but you sense it around the corner, and it might happen in the Aries season. So that would be March 21st, but I'm a March 20th baby, and I am this Aries sun sign, so it could start anywhere from March 19th to March 20th on through like April 22nd. And that's only when the sun is occupying Aries. We've already had Venus move into Aries, which she's going to be retrograding in the next few weeks. I think she retrogrades a month from now. So she retrogrades March 13th, if my memory is serving me correctly, through, it's always a 6-week long retrograde when Venus goes backwards. Oh God. I'll end up doing some Venus retrograde readings on this channel when that time is getting closer. So Venus is already in her shadow phase. It's still okay to explore new love and relationships, no matter what, even when Venus is doing her retrograde dance. The thing when Venus is retrograde and actually stations retrograde and moves backwards for her 6-week-long retrograde transit before she stations direct again and moves back over all of the... Oh man, I'm going to need to break down retrogrades a bit. I do have retrograde videos already on this channel that I put up 4 years ago. This could also be a relationship that you met years ago and it wasn't the right time. Oh, love that message, Spirit. Whew. Oh man, this is going to be a bit of a longer video, but those of you that are here for it are here for it. I know it. It's fine. I can go into this. So, Venus retrograde. When she is retrograde, it's not the most ideal time to make those vows, to get married, to get a new title, or that new name could be boyfriend, girlfriend, or fiance, or husband, wife. Those new romantic changes, if those happen while Venus is retrograde, all that you need to know is that at some point in time, those titles are going to change. So in a scary type of aspect, if you were to get married during a Venus retrograde, the worst case scenario is that you end up getting divorced. Because when Venus, the planet of love, romance, beauty, harmony, so this also goes for getting your house completely redecorated while Venus is retrograde. You might go through it and do it all. It might end up costing you a lot more money, and then like a month or two later, you decide you hate it. And you had spent all that time and money making it a certain way to realize you don't like it. So same thing in a relationship. Let's say you get a new boyfriend or girlfriend while Venus is retrograde. You decide you don't want to be in a relationship with them in that context. Maybe you're better off as friends, or maybe you just straight up decide, oh my God, I can't stand this person. I would be happier to never see them again. That can also happen when Mercury is retrograde, just to be very clear. But in a best case scenario, let's say you get married during Venus retrograde. You could like decide at some point to be in an open marriage, or okay, I've got my own opinions on that. Fine. I'm not into that energy. No. And I don't think many Aries would be. You'd have to have some really strong Aquarius placements, I believe, for that to be cool. Or like some watery placements or Gemini, or I don't know. Aries wants to be number one. So you're not going to, right? Like maybe that's what happens. You end up in a relationship while Venus retrograde, you make those vows or that commitment or that verbal, yes, you're my boyfriend now. Yes, you're my girlfriend now. And then that person, period of time later, not like the end of your life later, not that kind of change. Like you think you're going to be with this person, you make a commitment, and then they're like, kind of want to open up this relationship. And you're like, oh, hell no. And they're like, well, I think like then we need to break. Like, see, it's not advised while Venus is retrograde. She only goes retrograde for that 6-week period every year and a half. So our last one was through the sign of Leo. Maybe it was in Virgo and moved into Leo. I think it was at like 22 degrees Leo. I have a funky, freaky, weird memory. It went retrograde like July 21st of, so that would have been 2023. For 6 weeks. So through the end of August, I think it went back direct on August 30th of 2023. Or September 3rd or something like that. I have a really weird, cool memory like that. I love my memory. I'm so grateful for my memory. And then the previous one started, I believe, December 21st, 2021, and went direct again in beginning of February of 2022. So also look at patterns that happen at those times in your life. I did not expect to talk so much about Venus retrograde. So many of you might have Aries and Venus as well. You might have Mercury and Venus. I have Sun, Mercury, Venus, Pholus, Pallas Athena, other things as well, all in Aries. Very, very strong Aries placement in my chart. And so you might also have these things. It's a lot of Aries energy. I apologize if I'm going off on a really long tangent here about Venus retrograde, but it seems to be important at the moment to be talking about, especially since it will be going through our home sign. So look and see which house this is moving through in your chart. Which house Aries occupies, which houses Aries occupies. and look at your chart and see if you also have Mercury and Venus and other things in Aries. It just means that you would feel this as truth more than others. The thing where I went, yes, I love this message, Spirit, is because I said something about 4 years ago. I don't know where that came in, but let's say that there's someone from your past. Maybe you guys tried to date, or maybe you were just friends, but there was always like the potential of something to grow in a romantic sense. And maybe you've recently reconnected. And it could just be as friends, because that would be the energy that you would kind of left it on. Maybe if you had dated, it's not like you decided you really can't stand each other. It's like you just decided maybe it wasn't the right timing, or maybe one person really still had a lot of growing to do, or coming into sense of self even more. Or learning how to fill up their own cup so that they could pour into a relationship without needing the relationship to pour into them. Take it however it resonates. But let's say that you've recently reconnected with someone from your past where there was this potential for a really lovely Six of Cups romantic relationship to blossom. This Venus retrograde would be a good time for you to explore a romantic relationship. Still not advised to like make the commitment vows in the time frame, because that commitment vow is going to change. However, it's like if it's something from the past that's already been explored and it didn't work out, but there's still that desire there, then the retrograde period opens up those pathways for it to actually work. It's a beautiful thing about retrogrades. Oh my God, I need to talk much more about retrogrades. I love talking about retrogrades, and I haven't done it in a while. Take it as it resonates. I really hope that helps. I'm going to leave you guys here with all of those messages. This is a lengthy video. I'm just so grateful for you guys. We have a ton of Aries collective tuning into this channel. And as of the past few days, we also have a ton of Leo energy tuning into this channel. So I am loving the fire energy. But believe me, all of the other elements, I love you so much as well. Gemini is right there too. I've got some new Libra folks on the channel. And of course, I've got a ton of water in my chart and a lot of earth. I have a lot of Taurus in my chart. So I'll love the Taurus collective, the Pisces collective, Scorpio, Cancer, Virgo, Capricorn. I just love you all of you. And Aquarius, again, happy birthday if your sun sign Aquarius. And am I missing out any of them? Sag. Bestie. See you guys in the next video. I really hope it helps.